Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy!
That's me, Tiberius!
And welcome to the Tiberius Show today, and I'm your host, Tiberius Boy. And as always, we're looking at various jobs and how they affect the world around us. Today's is going to be very interesting. We're going to talk to a guy that gives away water. Wait a second. Giving away water? Dad, is this script correct? Okay. Well, I'm guessing he gives away water, so do you have any idea what someone that gives away water does? Well, I assume that he does give away water, but let's talk to this guy and find out. Let me introduce our next guest, the one, the only, the amazing, the founder of Free Water, Josh Cliffords!
Thanks for having me, Tiberius. Happy to be here.
No problem. And thank you for being on the show. Okay, so, you were listed as the founder of Free Water, and well, does that mean that you just, give away water? Well, how can you give away something that everyone's paying for?
So we print advertising on both aluminum bottles and paper cartons of spring water, and it's free because the packaging is ad space. And not only is the water free, but we give 10 cents per beverage to fight the global water crisis too.
Wow. So, what got you interested in the business of giving away free water?
Back in 2015, my wife and I started a nonprofit organization, and we were helping refugees in Europe. And roughly 1 in 4 had expressed they had left their country because they didn't have access to water or food. And that's where the idea of free water was born.
Wow. Okay, so it says here that you have your business in Austin, Texas. Well, why did you pick Texas over, say, Florida or California?
Actually, I tried to launch the company in Berlin and London, and I failed many years ago. And I moved back to the States. I'm originally from California. I went to Silicon Valley for 10 or 11 months. It was really expensive. And so Austin seems like the right fit of a great startup ecosystem and not as expensive as Silicon Valley. And so here we are.
Okay, so this is like how Facebook and Google are free, but instead you give away water?
Exactly. And free water is just the beginning. It's only the first product of our future free grocery store called freegrocerystore.com.
Okay. Well, what is the most fun part about your business?
I think the most fun part about the business has to be the donations to charity. So far, we financed water projects in both Africa and India, and I actually get to go visit the first 2 we financed in Kenya in a couple of weeks to go do the before and after video for TikTok.
Ah, okay. Well, why did giving away free water so important to you?
I guess I've got a question for you. Do you personally think that water should be free, or do you think it should cost a lot of money?
Not a lot of money, but there should be a price on it because with global warming, water is tightening down, so there should be at least a price on it.
So it's important to me because a lot of people don't have water in the world. 800 million people right now. And when 10% of Americans drink 1 free water a day, we donate more than $1 billion to charity annually. So we'll be able to help a lot of people. And that's why we created it.
Wow, okay. Well, where do you get the water to give away?
We currently don't have our own factory, so we use other factories here in the United States because we didn't want to make water free and do it in a plastic bottle. There weren't that many options. And so we've got amazing manufacturers for both aluminum bottles and paper cartons on both the east and the west coast of the United States. This water right here happens to come from the state of Georgia.
Ah, wow. So what is the best part about giving away free water?
I think the price. I think that people really enjoy receiving a product for free, a high quality product that donates to charity too. And if you check out our social media, you always tend to see really surprised people. Hey, how's it free? It can't be free. This is impossible. But again, I think the best part for me is the donations. And so we're
Okay.
really trying to make a huge impact on the donation side.
Okay. Now, here seems like a good time to take a quick commercial break. Let's hear a word from our sponsors.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
And we are back here talking with Josh Cliffords. Josh founded a company that gives away free water. Okay, now my dad says to always give 110% of my schoolwork. Well, 100% of what the teacher wants and 10% more so I can remember it. But you have a different way to use 110%. Can you explain it?
Yeah, our water's 110% off because it's free and it also gives 10% to charity too. And so it's not just free, it's negatively priced.
Okay. So what is the most misunderstood part about your business?
I think the most misunderstood part about the project in general is that it can work for nearly every type of product available. And when we talk to people all over the world and we say, do you think water should be free? 99 out of 100 say yes, because they could see, okay, the ads could pay for the bottle, the water, the manufacturing. But then if I say or ask, do you think food should be free? Most people say no because they're worried that the farmer would have to work for free. They could conceptualize it working for a product like water, but they can't for food. And I think that that's odd because we've got, TikTok and Facebook and all of these other free things that even though we absorb it digitally on our phone, they have physical buildings and computers and servers. And so I think it's just kind of breaking the norm, right? And doing something radically different.
Okay, so I understand that the advertising is paying for the water, but where do you send it to be given away?
So right now, 99% of our business is direct to the business, meaning we design it and ship it and we send it straight to them and they do the distribution. We're launching direct to consumer next, two ways. One, we're launching, it's finished being built now. We just haven't done the press launch, a free vending machine. So we're launching free vending machine prototypes. You just use the mobile app, walk up to it, boop, get your free stuff. And then we're also launching direct to consumer. So mixed 12 packs of free water. And people will just pay for the shipping. We won't add a penny to it. It'll be very transparent on our costs. And then the 12 and 24 packs will come to your house and every water will have a different ad. And once we've got the free water going to your house, we could add other products and eventually it becomes a free supermarket.
Huh. Well, are you worried about someone getting too much free water? Like, how much water can one person get for free?
We aim to limit it to 3 beverages per person per day. And we've put a lot of systems in place where it would be very hard to take advantage of the system. People always ask, if it's free, I'm going to take everything from your supermarket. And it just simply won't be possible.
Yeah, that's true. Because 1, it's too big. 2, it's too heavy. And 3, it's still too big.
Well, and big picture, it's all going to be going to your house. So if you ordered 1 million pounds of oranges, we would say, sorry, Tiberius, your family's not that big. You can't have 1 million pounds of oranges. You get, 10 pounds per month. If you want more than 10 pounds, you pay a little extra for the 1 million.
Okay. Well, do you plan on, giving away other things like Xboxes or even cars?
Both. Every product that's currently sold at your local Costco or Walmart, which includes TVs, Xboxes, iPhones, it works for everything.
Wow. Well, I play a lot of video games for free because they have ads in them, but they will have a pay to remove them option. Will you have a pay to remove ads option on your products?
It's an amazing question, and one day the answer is yes. And so one day, all of the groceries will be individualized and different than all of your neighbors. So the ones for your home will have unique artwork and unique augmented reality on every food and water product. But just like video games where you could pay to upgrade the skin or whatever, If you wanted to pay for these things, then you could design all the products yourself in every layer. And so some people are going to want the free stuff, and most people will, because 90% of people go free YouTube, only 10% pay. And so I believe only 10% of people would pay to design the food themselves one day.
Huh. Man, now you got me thinking of what I should put on a bottle. Man. So what other things do you think that you can put advertising on and give away for free?
Just about everything. And so there's two different types of free or negatively priced ad-supported products. The free water one, where the ads on the packaging pays for everything. That works for beverages, cereal boxes, a lot of things. Also, many vehicles. But then you have the other type where you would just watch a couple ads in your phone, and then that would pay for it. And then anybody who accepts Visa or MasterCard for any product or service, now it's available. This would include Xbox.
Ah, okay. So, going to those free vending machines, you said you tap your phone to the vending machine. Would you have to, like, watch an ad or something in order to earn the free vending machine stuff?
We're going to leave it in a way likely open source for the operator of the machine to decide. And so in tech, there's usually two ways you could go. The first is closed. Closed is an iPhone. You can't make any adjustments to their operating systems. But Google uses Android, and typically Android is open source, a lot of things. And so the possibilities are endless. And when you go to the vending machine and you just tap it, that would be with NFC chips. So it'd be like, boop, and then you would get your free item.
Huh, okay. So what's the hardest part about your business?
The hardest part about the business is that we can't put free water or free food in your local supermarket because they sell water and sell food. So
Yeah.
we're not welcome there. And we also can't put it on Amazon because Amazon takes 10 to 15% of commission from every product you sell. So we've had to create all brand new channels, such as free vending machines and these new mechanisms to get products to your house for free in the future. And so it's just, you have to get a little bit more creative.
Okay, so what could be done to make that easier?
I don't know if there's anything that could be done to make it easier, because it's always more difficult being the first person to attempt something. And when you're the first, you make mistakes. There's no way to be good at something that you're not practiced at. And so just like someone learning to ride a bicycle for the first time, this is my first time making a free supermarket. I'm not as good at doing things today as I will be 5 years from now. And I'm a million times better than I was 5 years ago. And so the people who copy us after we're successful will be able to just like cut right to the finish line in a lot of cases. But a lot of this is trial and error. So even the mixed 12 packs the other day, it was our first test run, and all the aluminum bottles ended up being square shaped because they went through FedEx and they all got smushed together. And so now next part, version 2, trial 2, they have to have protected by dividers to protect them. And so there's no way for us to know this until you mess something up. And so unfortunately, I don't think there's any way to make it easy.
So, because it's free, right? Well, what if you ask, like, Mr. Beast in order to, like, help you give away more stuff?
Mr. Beast follows us on TikTok, and we've reached out to his team many times, but unfortunately, we have not been able to talk with Mr. Beast. Everybody wants to talk to Mr. Beast, so it's really hard to get in front of celebrities like that. But I think as the company and the movement continues to grow, they would eventually call us, because Mr. Beast, Jimmy, seems like a really great guy, and he really cares about making a big difference. And I think when he realized, fully what we're working on, he'd probably want to get involved.
Okay. So, if someone wanted to work towards being someone that gives away stuff for a living, well, what should they do?
You have a lot of options. I think you have to make a lot of decisions first. The first decision is, do you want to make a nonprofit or a for-profit business? There's pros and cons to both. And you're going to have to decide that before you even decide what you want to give away for free. And then once you've decided what you want to give away for free, and then you chose for-profit or nonprofit, then you have to choose the revenue model. Do you want to do it through advertising? Do you want to do it through some other way? And the possibilities are endless. There's not just one way to do this. There's many.
Yeah, you have a point there. So who can you say was the person that helped drive your passion the most?
The person that helped drive my passion the most was my late mother. She always supported me in everything I did before free water. But in the early days of free water, she and my wife were the only supporters I had. Everybody said it was impossible to make a product that was free and donated to charity too. And then what I would mention, the big vision is a free supermarket, then nobody would listen to me for years. And so, but without my late mother and my wife's support, none of this would be possible.
Okay, well, can you provide an example of a situation that didn't go as planned, and what'd you learn from it?
Nothing has gone to plan, Tiberius.
Goodness.
Look, I mean, when I started, I had I was very computer illiterate. When I graduated high school, I didn't have to type things. We hand wrote things, and I always played sports. I've always kind of had a fear of computers. And I had no background in social media, marketing, manufacturing, last mile delivery, any of the things that we utilize in business today. And so I had to teach myself from scratch. And when I started this journey, it was September 2017. I started working on the project 75 to 100 hours a week. And I
Wow.
haven't stopped working that many hours since. And that enables me to catch up to people and pass other people. A lot of people started way ahead of me, and now I'm way past them just because I'm working harder.
Huh. So out of 168 hours, I believe, you work 75 to 100. Wow, that's a
A lot
lot.
of a
That's a
lot
lot
of
of
days,
hours.
5 to 7 days a week. My day starts at 8 a.m. and I finish around 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. I'll make a lot of the social media videos super late at night as I'm more tired. And so, yeah, I mean, 8 in the morning till 1 in the morning are pretty long hours.
Yeah, that's long hours. So what advice would you give to my listeners if they wanted to grow up and give away stuff?
They have to make a lot of decisions. Do they want to be for profit? Do they want to be nonprofit? Do you want it to be ad supported? What do you want to give away? I guess if you could give away one thing for free, Tiberius, what would it be?
Kindness and honor.
That would be pretty cool.
So somehow do that would be cool. So what is the best advice that you've ever received, and who gave you that advice?
The best advice I think I've ever received would simply just have to be that anything is possible. Um, I truly believe that for the most part, anything's possible if you're willing to put in the work to start as a beginner and work your way up from the bottom. The best advice I ever received in regards to the free water project was from an entrepreneur in Silicon Valley. And what they said is, Josh, you're doing it all wrong. You're looking for investment and help too soon. No one's going to help you until you don't need the help anymore. So you need to prove that you could do this all by yourself with no outside investment or anyone helping you. And once you prove that, then the proverbial floodgates will open and you'll get a lot of help. And that person was right.
Okay. So what was the very first job that you've ever had?
The very first job I ever had, I was about your age. We had a lemon tree at our house and I was selling lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I had an idea, what would happen if I made a sign that said free lemonade? And then a lot of cars came by and I couldn't make the lemonade fast enough. So I didn't know what to do. And I ran in the house and grabbed all my baseball, basketball, and football card collections. I had a pretty decent collection. And all the people coming to get the free lemonade, I sold them the basketball cards and everything else. And
Huh.
after the weekend, I had sold the entire collection. And it took a long time and a lot of begging and bothering my parents. But I talked them into letting me invest that money into Microsoft stock when I was 10 years old. And so when I was 10, instead of doing a podcast, I was day trading in the stock market with my own money. And so that meant I was an active trader and And yeah, in my whole life, that was actually the only time I ever made money in the stock market, believe it or not, when I was 10.
Wow,
And so that was my first job.
that's
I
cool.
turned the
Okay.
free lemonade stand into a decent sized investment into Microsoft.
Huh.
And then when I turned 18, I sold it, I think, for 18,000. And then I used it to travel the world. But if I still had it in Microsoft today, it would be worth somewhere between 500,000 and 1 million.
Jeez. Wow. Well, what message do you want to tell children all over the world about doing the work that you do?
The message that I would tell anyone, regardless of their age, all around the world, is that life is short and you should really focus on things that make you happy. And if you haven't found it yet, don't get frustrated. Just keep an open mind and keep searching, and eventually you'll find it. And that's when you should kind of just like go all in. You'll know it because the problem that you want to solve bothers you so much, you'll do anything to solve it. It would drive you insane if you didn't.
Okay. Well, on that note, let's take a quick break to pay some bills. And we are back here with founder of Free Water, Josh Cliffords. Okay, now, Josh, what is your favorite part of your day?
Um, there isn't one right now, unfortunately, because the days have been so long and hard, Tiberius. My favorite part of the day is when we donate money to charity. Every water donates to charity. So um, it's a lot of work to do something uniquely different, and that's really my only motivation of being involved in the project or inventing it in the first place are these donations to charity. So we're talking to some bigger brands about doing some bigger orders. And for example, one famous cowboy boots company, I won't mention their name, they'll likely distribute 150,000 free waters from all their stores nationwide. That would finance up to 3 water projects for people who don't have water. And
Wow.
that's what gets me excited.
Okay. So how can kids help you give away more free water?
I guess by just telling all of their friends that it's possible to make water and food free in the first place. We need a lot of help spreading the word, and um, a lot of people just still don't know it's possible. And the interesting thing is, if you're over the age of 40, they don't have the video game experience that you and I have, and they don't really get exposed to things that don't cost money. So if you're over the age of 40 and you hear something's free, they're like, what's the catch? It's impossible. But when we talk to people under the age of 40, they're just like, oh, it's just like free video games. It's just like
Yeah.
TikTok. It's just like, and so there's definitely a divide between different age groups and how fast they could understand how this works or not.
Okay. So how do I get some free water in my school or in my dad's office?
We could talk and we could send you guys some 12 packs or 24 packs, but we mainly only deal in targeted marketing. And so if there was a company or organization that really wanted to get in front of everyone at your school, it would be my recommendation that they use free water as a tool, or that the city also utilizes it to put the educational materials right on the packaging.
Okay. Well, if you could go back 10 years and tell yourself something, what would it be?
If I could go back 10 years and tell myself something, it would just be uh, to not care about what anybody thinks about you, no matter what. I think that no matter what age you are, I think a lot of people struggle with that. I used to struggle with that when I was younger. I used to always care about what people felt or thought about me. And it took me a long time to realize you can't control how people think about you. And so I just need to control what I could control. And, all I
Okay.
could do is try to work hard and do things that matter to me.
Okay. Well, what was the biggest mistake that you've ever made, and how did it change you as a person?
Wow, the biggest mistake I've ever made, and how did I change as a person? Um, the biggest mistake I ever made, and I wouldn't even call it that much of a mistake. I put a lot of effort in my 20s to launch a nonprofit organization that was called Kids Can't Wait, WEIGHT, and it was to help obese children lose weight. I used to own a gym at the time, and I invested so much of my personal money into it. I never anticipated that a recession would come in 2008 times, and because I put pretty much everything into the charity, it did not go so well afterwards. So it was a lesson learned in business, which was, I guess, maybe, I don't know, I was just too aggressive on the giving side, and I wasn't smart enough, or I didn't have enough, I guess, foresight to understand, okay, just because things are good today doesn't mean that, there could be a bad economy in the coming
Yeah.
months or years. And so unfortunately, I had to close down that nonprofit. Now, the
Yeah.
skills that I learned while starting that nonprofit helped me later when I started my second nonprofit in Europe called Save the Refugees, where we distributed aid to refugees from more than 25 different countries.
Wow. Okay. So when you're not working, what do you do for fun?
Right now, all I do is work, Tiberius. I don't want to sugarcoat it and lie. If you're doing like 100 hours a week, there's really not much time for that. When I have free time, I try to spend it with my wife Ivana and our cat Garfield.
Okay. So do you play video games? And if you do, what is your favorite one?
I don't play many video games anymore. I used to like to play Call of Duty. I used to like to play Smash Brothers, and really was really I really used to like Mario Kart.
Okay. So what's your favorite book to read?
That I can't give you the greatest answer because I don't read much. I was just diagnosed in the last couple of years with really bad dyslexia. And so, to be honest, I've always kind of ran away from reading a lot of books. I'm more of a video person. And so, also, that's why I didn't have the greatest level of competency with computers when I started, because
Mm.
a ton of reading. And yeah, so yeah, it
Yeah,
was
that makes
weird.
sense.
Someone had pointed out that I had bad dyslexia a couple of years ago. When I explained to them I never read, I don't like reading, I have issues reading sometimes. And then I got checked out, and yeah, so my
Ah.
issue is sometimes I'll glance at something and I think I'll read a word, and then I'll look back and the word didn't say that at all.
Yeah, it's exactly what I think too. Okay. Okay. Now, can you tell me that one story? Remember, this is a kid's show. That one story, well, that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on, you can tell me.
I don't know. I guess give me a little bit more information.
Okay, well, it can be like an embarrassing story or something no one knows about you.
Embarrassing story or something that very few people know about me. Um, I used to just be very bad at pretty much everything growing up. At least I felt like I was bad. And I think it also goes back to me being scared about what people thought or whatever. I wasn't really good at baseball. I wanted to be good at baseball when I was younger and also in high school. And then eventually I just had to work very, 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 very hard. And I kind of overcame those fears. I didn't become the professional baseball player I wanted to, but eventually I good enough for me to be happy about it.
Okay, well, is there anything else you think my listeners should know about you?
Um, no, I think that if your listeners wanted to dive into anything else, it should be that we really are making a free supermarket. And
Mm.
what's very unique about this project is instead of me patenting all these inventions, I made sure that nobody could patent them because we want Coca-Cola and everybody else to copy. And I also want them to copy the donation to charity too. So if you multiply that 10 cents donation by every can or bottle of Coca-Cola in the world, that's going to be a really big number. And so we invented this
Yeah, you have
new
a point.
industry from scratch so we could make sure that at least 10% of it goes to charity.
Okay, well, do you have a Facebook or website for my listeners who want to follow you?
We do. Our website is freewater.io. Our Facebook is freewater.io. Our TikTok is freewater.io. And so is our YouTube.
Okay. Well, what is that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
I think that the one question that you forgot to ask is it really possible to make the free vending machine work? And if it would work, what's preventing you or my wife from taking all the chocolate bars?
Well, what is preventing you and your wife from taking all the chocolate bars? And is it possible?
It is possible. And the truth is really nothing. If somebody wanted to rob the vending machine or a for sale store, they would. As long as they play by the rules and they use the mobile app we built, it would limit them to 1 to 3 free waters or free chocolate bars per day. If somebody didn't want to play by the rules, they're going to be able to empty out the free vending machine. So it is a social experiment.
That makes sense. So thank you, Josh, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
Definitely.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
And now it's time for Math Corners. Thank you, Josh, for helping me with Math Corners. And this week, we are going to do some more multi-step word problems. My dad is always good at finding new problems for me to solve. And today, we're going to talk about advertising.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so a high school newspaper club is selling advertising space in their upcoming school yearbook. The yearbook has a total of 100 pages, and the club has set the following rates for advertising. Full page is $300, half page is $175, and a quarter page is $100. So far, they have sold 5 full-page ads, 12 half-page ads, and 18 quarter-page ads. However, the club also incurs some expenses relating to the printing and the designing of the yearbook. So the cost of designing and printing each page of the yearbook is $10. So how much profit will they be able to make on the yearbook? Well, first, this is a real-world problem because every school has a yearbook and they need to try to make money for the senior trip.
It is a really big problem. Do I really have to answer that right now, or are you going to give us the answer, Tiberius?
Nah, I gotcha. Okay, so to solve this, you first have to figure out how much money was made from the ads. So 5 times 300 is $1,500, and 12 times 175, that's a bit harder, $2,100. And then we have 18 times 100, well, that's easy, that's 1,800. And then you add them all together and get, carry the one. $5,400 in total. But wait, there's more. Now you have to figure out the costs. It was 100 pages times 10, so that would be $1,000. So finally, the question is the profit. So that would be $5,400 minus $1,000, and you get drum roll, please. No? Okay. Well, $4,400, and that is the total profit. Not bad for school photos.
Definitely not bad.
Yeah. So Josh, do you ever have to sell advertising before you started Free Water?
No, I did not. Free Water was the first time I've ever been involved in advertising, period.
Okay. Now, Josh, my teacher said that I would use math every day. How do you use math in your work?
I mean, it's really just simple math. Initially, when I invented everything, I knew that I wanted to donate billions of dollars a year to charity. And so that's when I created the free water model. I said, okay, if we give 10 cents per free water, 10% of America, that's like 33 million people, drinks 1 free water a day, we donate more than $1 billion a year. We also just use, I guess it's not really math, but we throw numbers at people when they get discounted rates. They get better prices if they order bigger quantities of free water.
Okay.
And so even if you're not adding and subtracting, the numbers have to make sense. If it costs $1 if they ordered this many, they want a discount if they order 10 times as many. So really simple things, nothing super crazy.
And thank you so much, Josh, for your help with Math Corners.
My pleasure.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of their dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering to trophies and awards. The cool part about Custom Designs is they can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373 and tell them that
Tiberius
sent you.
And now it's time for the Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by the Heart of a Lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility. This week, we're going to talk about nobility. For me, I think nobility is remembering we are God's special possessions and acting in a noble way, showing courage and honor. The qualities of nobility are goodness, virtue, honor, generosity, and selflessness. This week, I noticed a homeless man on a bench. He was dirty and tired. A woman was sitting next to him, talking, and shared her lunch with him. He ate it very quickly, but kept talking to the woman. She not only gave her food, but also her time to sit with him in almost 15 minutes to hear his story. That's a good example of selflessness and, in turn, nobility. So, Josh, did you see or use nobility at all this week?
We do every day at Free Water because we only focus on being selfless and as generous as possible. We want to give everybody free water, and we want to donate as much money to charity as we can to give safe drinking water to people who don't have it.
Okay. Well, of all of the Heart of a Lion virtues, which is the one that you see the most? And I'll list them again, which is leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility.
I think they all go hand in hand. If you're doing something unique, you end up being a leader by default just because you're walking through uncharted territories. I don't think you could get very far in business without integrity. And also building quality relationships, integrity is important. And you need to have obedience. Like, you need to continue to work hard every single day or it's not going to happen. And then on the nobility side, generosity is the core of what we're doing here. So I think that they're all equally as important, and I think that they're complementary. I think that if you just did one of those four well, you wouldn't get the results you wanted. And so you really have to probably do at least 3 out of 4 well in order to, or maybe even 4 out of 4 to get the results that you want out of anything in life.
Okay, we should always try and be lion strong in everything we do, shouldn't we?
1,000,000%.
And that's our show, folks. I'm going to thank the one, the only, the amazing Josh Cliffords for being on my show. It has been so much fun talking to you today. I think we learned a lot about free water and your goals for free stuff everywhere.
Thank you so much for having me, Tiberius. It's been an honor and probably my favorite show I've ever been a part of.
No problem. And do you mind giving your social media and website again?
Yeah, the website and social media is the same. It's all freewater.io.
Also, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Tiberius Show, and I would like to thank WWPR 1490 AM, KNT98, Soul Radio 24/7, Easy Way TV, and all the other stations that air on my show. Please be sure to visit The Tiberius Show on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Josh, have you subscribed yet?
We already did.
That's great. Oh, and leave a comment if you want to get stuff for free. Also, be sure to listen to us next week on The Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.